For Wall Street Media, this is Marley. I'm here with Doug, and we'll help you make money in the stock market with information you can't get anywhere else.
Super cool exclusive stuff.
Super cool exclusive stuff from
Marley,
SunTrust.
Marley, what do you have for us?
I'm back. We have David Jaffe, the CEO of Dress Barn. Their ticker's DBRN, discusses and explains merchandising and the different lifestyle collections for both brands, Dress Barn and Maurice's. Here it is.
So first and foremost is merchandising. And for both Dress Barn and Maurice's, we have differentiated lifestyle collections, which means we put together lifestyle, not classifications. Classification would be we put together all dresses. We put all sweaters over here. With lifestyle, you're putting together career looks, and then you've got casual looks or weekend or dressy or what it may be. Whereas when you go into our competition, people like Kohl's, what they're going to do is have all the classifications in different areas, so it makes it much harder to put together outfits. And we are trying to sell outfits. We therefore edit what we put together, and what we're trying to do is show fashion with value, and we do it in such a way that we have this very wide assortment, so we're not narrow and deep. If you think of Abercrombie or you think of Gap, they've got basically a handful of items in a lot of colors and a lot of depth. But what we do is have a much more shallow offering, but we have many, many more styles. So an example I like to use is that we'll have, in the course of a fall season at Dress Barn, we might have 500 different sweaters, whereas a guy like an Ann Taylor or a Gap might have 50. So they're really targeting that customer much more focused than we are, because they're in a mall, so they're going to attract that customer to their store. So they're narrow casting, whereas Dress Barn and Maurice's are located in smaller markets, and therefore anybody that comes in your store, you've got to be able to offer something to. And you don't want to look like the person coming, your neighbor coming and going, because there's only the certain styles that are available. So this allows the customer to kind of put together their own looks and not be one of a peanut pod. And for both Dress Barn and Maurice's, we are private label focused. For Dress Barn, it's about 99%. For Maurice's, about 93%, with one big chunk of the balance being a good denim label called Silver, which is about 5% of the Maurice's business.
Hey, you like that idea,
I think that's a great idea. I think that when a lot of people go shopping lately, you don't have a lot of time. You're like, you're ducking in on your lunch break, or you're running out really quick to try to buy a new outfit or something, and you don't want to spend 3 hours in, say, a Macy's trying to put everything together and going all over.
You could be going from audition to audition,
You could be going from audition to audition, say, and you need a new outfit. It's really handy that you can go in and be like, I want this mannequin, size 4. Thank you.
Please, German Mike and I, when you run out in between shows and come back and you have a shopping bag.
I don't do that. I don't know what they're talking about. Lord & Taylor is not next door.
Ben, be forewarned, pal.
I do that, sorry. If you want to watch that entire video, you can go to wsw.com/webcast/strh19.
More cool
I've got another one, another exclusive for you.
All right.
We have Neil Fenwick, who's the CFO and EVP of ACO Brands. Their ticker is ABD. Talks about the company's growth going forward. Here it is.
So how are we going to grow going forward? It's an obvious statement, you focus. But the real answer is, think of the investment we've been making that has yet to produce a return. And so if you want to be successful in this industry, you have to have good products, you have to have good service. And if you think of where we've been, we've not had as good a service as we would have liked because of all the distribution rearrangements that we were making, and we've not had the products we would have liked. And so what we've seen is private label take more share in some of our categories than it probably will have on a sustainable basis. And so as this year unfolds, there are various areas that we think we can start to see some reversals of those trends. There are also whole channels that we've yet to penetrate. And so if you look at these type of pitch books that you're using in the document finishing business, in North America, what we have is we have two real markets. We have the market that you would tend to think about if you walked into a Staples or a Depot, or a Max, which I'll call the do-it-yourself market, which is selling more small machines which are used. And there's also the do-it-for-me market, which would be done in a print shop like a FedEx Kinko's, or indeed one of those 3 print shops. And they tend to be much larger machines that are used on a commercial basis. They're also used, for example, by banks inside their own print shops within their premises. And so if you look at what's happened in this market, what you'll see is private label has basically taken a big piece of what used to be GBC's business. And so during 2008, you will see the first new products come out in this area. They'll actually be aimed at the do-it-for-me market, so the commercial piece of the business. And the reason for aiming there first is because fundamentally we believe we will get much quicker progress there, and we also have a big latent demand in that area. That area is expanding rapidly as the print shops gain share, and so there's no better place to invest in an area that's expanding rapidly. And so we believe that we can drive a machine replacement cycle. We can also capture a lot of consumables back away from private label, and really on that direct side by linking together new machines, consumables, and service, which we're able to offer all of, do that.
Good stuff.
I don't know so much about those guys. I mean, they seem to have a good philosophy that people like having things done for them, and that's kind of where they're going. But if you guys hold them or know anything about ACCO brands, click the feedback button. It's just below the screen that you're watching, and let us know what you know about them, if you're holding them presently or if you're going to look at them. And if you want to watch the entire video, again, you can go to wsw.com/webcast/strh19. I have one more for you, too.
Super. Let's see.
We have Clinton Severson, who's the CEO of Abaxis. Their ticker's ABAX. Talks about how their blood analysis system works and its advantages over competitors.
Now, the Abaxis guy, what he does, well, is he adds 100 microliters of whole blood to a plastic disc. Let's see if I put one. Yeah, looks like this, huh? 100 microliters is about 5 drops. And it's like a CD player, huh? The drawer opens up, you pop the disc in, you push the button, 12 and a half minutes later, you get up to 14 tests on a card like this, huh? So the proposition we make our customer is you do less work. That's less work than processing to send it out to a lab. You reduce your cycle time from hours or days to 12 and a half minutes. Then in the doctor's office, the doctor collects the margin the lab makes. So that's a pretty compelling, Now, on the veterinary side of the business, our number one... Yep. Mm-hmm.
How penetrated is such a compelling value proposition? You must have
We're
100%.
lightly penetrated because the users, up until a few months ago, were highly regulated. So we had a very large, highly centralized business that was highly regulated. And now we're decentralizing it. Now we're taking it from the big, But with all this regulation, created lots of friction, because many of the customers said, "Man, I don't want to be inspected every year. I don't want to be tested every 3 months. I like to keep my records the way I keep my records. I don't want to have to follow any rules, But now we're in the process of deregulating it all, and we're close to having most of it deregulated, and I'll get to that in a second.
So you're selling to doctors and doctors' offices?
We're selling almost to every segment, But our biggest segments are doctor's offices, but we're selling to hospitals. We're selling to people that are going out in the bush to try to cure malaria. We're selling to, lots of different places. The military buys it, so we've got Piccolos in Iraq, Afghanistan, Germany, all over the place.
So what does Piccolo Express cost a lot?
We sell the Piccolo Express to distributors for between $12,000 and $13,000. And they sell it to the end user for between $15,000 and $20,000. And then we have customers that buy more than one Piccolo at one time. They get the second one for $9,700.
You know what? Doggone it. We didn't get this, and this is not their fault. It's ours. We didn't get it done, and it's after hours right now. Or I would really seriously consider about adding these guys to my portfolio. I use a simple test where if it seems like it might apply or I think people will like it, right, I assume other people will like it, or if I think it would fit into my life. I just had to go for my third blood test yesterday because the lab, who was it, LabCorp, German? Or is it the Quest?
LabCorp.
LabCorp. Somehow the doctor didn't get the results from them. Both are pointing fingers. And then I went to the doctor on Thursday, and they did another test there to replace this missing one. And they called me Friday night and told me that they lost that one or something happened to it, whatever.
Someone has a few handy
Right.
vials of
So I
blood.
went for my third blood test yesterday, and none of them were any fun. And this guy's telling me that they make something that can do 5 drops rather than like the vampire thing that I've been filling up.
Yeah.
Right? Someone's walking around happy with half of Doug floating around in them.
12 minutes and you could be done. You could
And
just
in
sit there
12
and wait.
minutes, right? But see, that's something where I could have sat in the doctor's office. That's exactly right. And Thursday and said,
Go. Tell me what it is.
right? And if they don't give me the and now it's been, what, 2 days since I got the last one, and I don't have the results. 12 minutes, I could have had it Monday, German.
I thought this CEO seemed like a really smart guy, too, because he brought up other usages for it, like being out in the bush for malaria, trying to cure malaria. Like, no one would think of that when you think, oh, it's a blood testing tool.
He thought of it.
I mean, he did, but I typically wouldn't think, oh, the people in the bush trying to cure malaria and AIDS are clearly using this tool, but...
We're glad you could pencil us in again.
Pencil?
I thought that was a great
one.
one.
I was home crying every day out of pure loneliness. My poor dog is like, go somewhere, Mom. Get out of the house.
I'd be a lot more likely to believe that if you said like the shoe salesman at some place was tired of your company, but I don't think that.
Chance is tired of my company.
Excellent stuff. Tyler actually down in Atlanta getting the video for us. Nice work.
With his folks.
And this is the SunTrust Unconference. We've got more later and a couple more tomorrow. Tomorrow's half a day.
Yeah, tomorrow's half day.
You can watch all of these or see all the presentations.
wsw.com/webcast/strh19.
You can see, I'm going to look into these last guys, and you can follow on covester.com and see if I add them. This is the major difference that we think about this show is when we say like, oh, I love this, or this guy made a great point or something, is we buy them with our own money. And then you can follow and see that we really did. And if you own them on covester.com, it's free, not selling you anything. And if you own them, click the feedback button and write in and tell us. You know, you own this, what you think of them, what you know about it. And we'll make this all like a team thing.
And we'll talk about you on air because we do feedback shows.
That's right.
Get a little airtime there, too.
That's right. Fantastic.
Well, we're here every day at Wall Street Media. You can find us at WSMCO.com. Thanks for joining us.